So the second step, so we've done just to kind of, encapsulate that. So we've found a problem and then we've gone through all the work to try to really chunk that down from something that's coarse grained, big, lumpy, not super clear into something that's fine and precise. The next one, and these are relatively in order, and then I'm going to jump at the end to the law of good enough, which is many chapters after these. But the second one is gathering inspiration. And I love the way you framed it. You talk about law of the muse. Do not start from zero. Do the necessary research to collect relevant ideas. Use these as inspiration, plucking the best parts to combine into something of your own. Don't wait for the muse to strike. Reach out and strike it yourself. Talk a little bit about why gathering inspiration is so important. I love the first sentence, which is do not start from zero. You say that and you're immediately like, well, of course.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that resonated. It's often where we think if we need to create something new, every piece has to be new. And we've established that a little while ago that it doesn't. Like with the iPhone, it is a phone and a computer. And so what you're really doing is, I say in the book, in The Law of Connection, where making a really great idea is you take a few fundamental concepts and use them as building blocks to create a full concept, your idea. Well, the more information you gather, the more stuff you explore, the more building blocks you have, the more likely that you are going to stumble upon a concept that you like. Seems obvious. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just saying the dumbest thing on earth because it's just like, that's obvious, I guess. But what I think is also important in this chapter, in addition, is that a lot of times we think that the muse needs to reach out and strike us, and I'm saying strike the muse. There's passive inspiration, and that does happen. And passive inspiration would be, I tell the brief story of a guy named George Demestral walks through the woods, some weird little things stick on his pants, he brings them home. After going through the woods many times before and not caring about them, this time he's like, I should look at that. Puts it under a microscope. Dude invents Velcro like 5 or 10 years later because of that. And that's passive inspiration. Something happened to him, he wasn't looking for it, and he made the most of it. And that's awesome. But when you want to engage creativity, you shouldn't wait for it. And then you have active inspiration, and that's gathering it. And there's just 2 dimensions to it. Step 1, collect, and step 2, assimilate. You go into a category of something you really like, and the iPhone and the computer, the computer and a phone is a great idea. Just gather a bunch of computer stuff, gather a bunch of phone things, see what people are doing, digest them, not just as wholes, but as the components. And then you have just a massive library of stuff to use and put together. And you can do it all in your head, which is the greatest part.
And this is really common, to talk about it for a second. Like oftentimes, if you're kicking off a project or on a design team, you'll come up with a mood board or an inspiration board. And it's effectively that you're going and pulling a bunch of things that have the vibe or the feel or the aesthetic or something that you think is interesting that you want to try to have. And you try to put that into a visual board that can sometimes look like image vomit. But that process is enormously helpful because you go from something that's foggy and vague in your own mind into something that's slightly more concrete because you can see it visually, you can react with it, you can share it with other people.